Hey there, CrossFit Queen Creek, how's it going? Coach Rob, we're in the garage gym, bringing you another one. This time it's gonna be for Thursday, the 2nd of April. We got some new movements today that we're gonna talk about. It's gonna be really, really fun. So let's go ahead and let's just get right to it. Okay, so in our warm-up today, we're actually got some movements that we don't see all that often. So I'd like to bring out Alea, and she's gonna be our demonstrator as we go through. So we're gonna go through our warm-up today, and we're gonna go through 3 rounds. The first movement that we're gonna go through is gonna be a plank, right? So we're gonna drop down into the plank position. We get into a good solid position. We're gonna squeeze the core, squeeze the glutes, onto the forearms, make sure that the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders, and we're gonna hold this position for 45 seconds. All right, come on up, very good. After we're done with that, we're gonna go into jumping squats. So with a jumping squat, just like we start with a normal squat, we're gonna notice that the feet are just underneath the hips, okay? We're standing nice and tall, so the first thing that happens as they come back is we drop down into a squat with the hips going back, drop down in the bottom position, staying vertical, keeping those arms forward, and as we come up out of the squat, we're going to jump, dropping right back in. Good, let's do 3 of those in a row, please. 2 and 3, very good. Those are your jumping squats. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna do 12 of those. Once we're done with the 12 jumping squats, we're gonna go into a glute bridge. Now, we don't need any weight for this. This is just a warm-up, but you probably have seen people do this before with a plate or maybe even a barbell with weights. But from here, since it's a warm-up, we're just gonna go from the floor. We're gonna lay on our back, bend the knees slightly, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive from the heels and we're going to press up from the floor, driving our hips up. Okay, back down and up. Good, and down. And this time on the way up, I want you to squeeze at the top. Very good, all right, good. So that is your glute bridge. From here, we're gonna go into Supermans, all right? To do a Superman, you're gonna lay on your stomach. We're gonna stick our hands out in front of us. And at the same time, we are going to lift both ends of our body up off the ground and then back down. And up and down. And one more time, up and back down. Very good. That was kind of fun. It's like I was pulling you like you were a puppet. All right. And then we're going to go into sit-ups. We've got 3 different versions of the sit-ups that we're going to show you today. All right. First version is going to be the straight leg sit-up. So like we've talked before, as we're in the sit-up, if you have an ab mat, you can certainly use this. But let's go ahead and let's sit up. As we sit up, we make sure that we break that vertical plane. The shoulders are in front of the hips. All right. Come on back. Let's do that one more time. Sit up. Very good. All right, now let's go ahead and we're gonna go with the feet flat on the floor, bent knees. As we come up, we're gonna go through the knees. So let's go up and through, breaking the vertical plane. 2 more for me, please. Very good. Last one. There we are. All right. And last but not least, we're gonna do the butterfly sit-up. This is where we put our feet, the bottoms of our feet together, spreading our knees wide, and we're gonna come up off the floor, break that vertical plane. Very good. There's 1. Give me 2 more. Each time we go down to the floor, we're making sure that our shoulders are touching the floor and we're coming all the way up, breaking that vertical plane. So those are your movements for the warm-up today. We're gonna go through 3 rounds of those movements. You're gonna need a stopwatch so that you can count the 45 seconds on the plank, and then just 12 repetitions for each one of these movements, okay? We got some goals set for you today. Since we got some different movements that we're not really used to, we don't do all that often, I really want you to practice your form. I want you to focus on what you're doing as you're going through the movements and make sure that you're doing it the correct way. Excuse me. If you have any questions, reach out to your coaches. I'm sure they got excellent pointers for you on how to ensure that you're going through and hitting that correct form on these movements. And also, I'd like you to challenge yourself a little bit on the weight today. All right. We're doing some movements here that is a lot of leg heavy movement. That's a strongest muscle group that we have, the posterior chain, especially in these Bulgarian split squats that we're going to talk about. We get the opportunity to work each leg independently, which is pretty good, and it's also going to really work your balance. Which brings me into the whole stimulus of this workout that we're doing today. We've got single leg development. We're certainly working on balance and core control, right? And then as we go through, later on, we're gonna see during the Metcon workout that we're going for time, we're certainly working on our metabolic conditioning because we're bringing in thrusters. Anytime you bring in thrusters and jump roping together, it's a burner. We're gonna get that heart rate up. We need to make sure that we control our breathing, and we're gonna go over that here in just a minute. So we just went over the movements for the warm-up. We don't need any special equipment other than just an open space and maybe something soft to lay on the floor if you're doing this on a hard surface. And an ab mat if that is what you like when you're doing sit-ups. However, now we're going to go into a Bulgarian split squat. So after the warm-up, we're moving into 5 rounds of 3 different movements. So the first movement is a Bulgarian split squat. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need a bench or a chair or a box, something that you can raise your rear foot up onto. All right. You're also going to need something that if you want to incorporate weight into this, because that is how we're scoring this particular workout. These are definitely something that you can do body weight, but we're going to encourage trying to incorporate some weight. So dumbbells, kettlebells, anything that you can use for weight resistance that you can hold on to independently in each hand is what we're going to be looking for. So let's go ahead and we're going to show you a Bulgarian split squat. So in order to get set for this, we're going to set the rear foot up on something. This is where a chair, a bench, an ice chest, a box, anything works fine. Then we're going to extend the front foot out in front of us slightly. This way, when we do come down, you're going to notice as we drop down, we're dropping down vertically. We're keeping this front shin vertical, keeping the knee over the ankle as we go into these squats. Very good. Very good. All right, go ahead and switch legs. So you'll notice that we're putting the top of the laces on the actual, resting on the bench right here. We're not driving our toe into it. We're resting our foot back here. We're going to extend that front foot out. There we go. We're going to come on down. We're going to grab these weights. We're going to stand up tall, right? And then we're going to drop down, keeping that shin vertical, keeping the knee over the ankle. Come on down. Give me 2 more. Very good. 1 more. Excellent. Thank you. You can drop those down. So there is your Bulgarian split squat with weights. Okay, we're going to go through, we're going to do 10 repetitions on each leg. So 10 on the right side, 10 on the left side. Then we're going to go into skaters. Okay, if you could show us some skaters, please. Skaters, we're going to need a good 5-6 feet a space so that we can jump back and forth. So we're going to jump over to one side, swing the rear foot around, touch the floor, jump up to the other side, like so. Good. Give me 3 more. All right, excellent. So with those skaters, we're going to do 20 of those back and forth. So each time you jump, you're going to count that as a rep. So really you're landing on each leg 10 times. We're going to do that for 5 rounds, and we're scoring this based upon the weight that you're doing in the Bulgarian split squats. That's how you're going to log this into Wodify. Once we're done with that movement, we're going into another Metcon. Now this is really where we're going to get the heart pumping, okay? We're going to go through a movement of thrusters and double unders, okay? So for our thrusters, we certainly need weight when we're doing our thrusters, and we can use all kinds of different things. We're going to use a broomstick to demonstrate if you were to use a barbell, okay? So with the broomstick or a barbell type movement, we'll notice that our feet are just underneath the hips, our hands just outside of the hips. We're going to bring that barbell up into the front rack position, elbows nice and high. And then we're going to drop down into a front squat, making sure that we drop our hips back. We're keeping our weight on our heels. And as we drive up out of the squat, we're going to press and punch our hands to the ceiling. When we're in the full upright position, we've got everything stacked. We've got our arms stacked straight up above our shoulders, which are above our hips, above our knees and our ankles, using our frame to support the weight that we have up on top. Now we're going to bring it back into the front rack and drop back into that front squat, and then up and drive. Punching to the ceiling. Back down. And up, there's 1, down, give me 2 more. There's 2, and there's 3. So this, go ahead and reset. So this is a thruster when you're using a barbell. We can also use anything else. We can use kettlebells, we can use dumbbells, we can use anything that we can hold for weight resistance in each hand. So we're gonna go through how to do this with some dumbbells. So we're gonna clean the dumbbells up into the front rack position, elbows high. We're gonna drop back down into that front squat, making sure the hips go back first. Driving from the heels straight up, pressing. Just like before, we've got everything in line. Wrists, elbows, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, all in one straight line supporting that weight. Bring it back down in the front rack, to the front squat, back up and punch to the ceiling. Good, give me 2 more. Make sure that we get those arms all the way back, stacking everything. Good, all right, very good, you can reset. So, we're going through 30 thrusters, then we're gonna go into 60 double unders. If you're not at double unders and we're at single unders, then that means we're doubling the count. We're gonna go with 120. So our rep scheme is gonna go 30 thrusters, 60 double unders, or 120 singles. Then we go back to thrusters for 20 reps. Then we go back to the jump rope for 40 or 80, depending if we're on doubles or singles. And then 10 thrusters and 20 or 40, depending on what we're doing with the jump rope. So a couple of things I wanna bring up when it comes to the jump rope. When we start with the jump rope, we wanna start with the jump rope out in front of us, okay? Then we're going to step over the jump rope and bring our hands forward, raising the rope so that it's behind our knees. This is to ensure the fact that we know that we're not stepping on the jump rope. Then we can go ahead and we can lower our arms and we can get started as we jump. Now notice this, as she's jumping, her elbows are low, her shoulders are relaxed, and she's using her wrists to turn the rope. This is key and fundamental to learning your double unders. Okay, thank you very much. So once again, let's go ahead, let's do that one more time. Let's run through how to get started. So rope is in front of us. We step through the rope. Bring those hands forward. Practice makes better. It's kind of like when you're taking a free throw shot. We always do the same thing over and over, whether we're pitching, we're taking a free throw shot, whether we're playing any kind of sport, we always have the same movements that we go through every single time. So we step over the rope, we bring our arms forward, ensure that we're not stepping on it, bring our arms down, and then swing the rope around, keeping the shoulders loose, elbows in tight to the body, and utilizing the wrist to turn the rope. All right, very good. Thank you. All right, so there you have it. Those are your movements, those are your scaling options, and your equipment necessary for today's workout. Hope you guys have a whole bunch of fun doing this. Let's see how fast people can get through these thrusters and double unders. This is gonna be a smoker. Talk to your coaches. They got tons of advice for you. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Like always, there'll be the YouTube link, and that's all I got for you. So I'll see you tomorrow.